political career spanning nearly 3 decades, Dr. Tony Tan Keng Yam is a familiar face. At various points, he was known to Singaporeans as the Deputy Prime Minister, as well as the man in charge of a gamut of key ministries, including education, finance, defense, and health. In the 1980s, then Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew openly rated Dr. Tan top of his cohort of second-generation leaders.
There's a decisive quality about him. He'd listen, take all points of view, and decide.
Dr. Tan showed promise early in life. At St. Patrick's School, he was the head prefect. And despite a full schedule of activities, he left the school top of his class with distinctions in all his subjects. He went on to win a series of scholarships, topping his class again at the University of Singapore, earning a master's degree from MIT, and eventually a doctorate in applied mathematics from the University of Adelaide. Amid all that, the budding academic found time to tie the knot with his university sweetheart, Mary Chi. They would go on to have 3 sons and 1 daughter. Dr. Tan entered politics in the 1979 by-elections. Just 38, he already had a decade in banking behind him and was general manager at OCBC Bank. Dr. Tan won his first electoral test in Sembawang with more than 78% of the votes. He would serve as Member of Parliament for Sembawang for the next 27 years.
These residents have been there for many generations.
In government, Dr. Tan rose swiftly. Upon entering Parliament, he was appointed Senior Minister of State for Education, a ministry then helmed by one of the sharpest brains in Cabinet, Dr. Goh Keng Swee. Within 16 months, Dr. Tan was made a full cabinet minister. While he also took on other key portfolios, it was in education that he truly left his mark. He expanded technical education, introduced independent and single-session schools, and played key roles in the founding and growth of the country's universities. In 1991, Dr. Tan left the cabinet to take the helm at OCBC Bank, following in the footsteps of his uncle and grandfather. Under him, OCBC expanded and turned in record profits. By some accounts, Dr. Tan relished his time with OCBC. But within 4 years, Dr. Tan was asked by then Prime Minister Goh Chok Tong to return to cabinet following 2 key resignations. Dr. Tan came back as Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Defence. To combat the rising threat of terrorism, he set up the National Security Coordination Secretariat.
These fearless glass petrol vessels...
Dr. Tan also weighed in on many other major decisions affecting the country, but not every one of them went his way. For one thing, Dr. Tan was against having casinos in Singapore.
Every Singaporean that gets into trouble means one Singaporean family that is destroyed. It cannot be a matter of small concern to the Singapore government.
Dr. Tan retired from cabinet in 2005. He went on to take up leading positions in the government investment vehicle GIC, Singapore Press Holdings, and the National Research Foundation. He also became the first patron of Dover Park Hospice while remaining the patron of many other civic groups. But the call of public office beckoned again, prompting Dr. Tan to throw his hat in the ring for the presidency.
Giving up 2 jobs which I love and going to a new career is a difficult decision, but I did it because, not because I'm convinced I will win, it's a risk, but because I felt that given the challenges which Singapore faces, I have to try, so that if I can make a contribution to ensuring that Singapore remains prosperous and progress, improve the lives of Singaporeans.
Some other candidates have said Dr. Tan's past links with the government puts his independence in doubt. But he argues his time in government is precisely the type of experience needed by Singapore's next president.
Difficult decisions lie ahead for Singapore. I believe that you need a president who is experienced, who is steady, who has worked in government, who has knowledge of the international system, who knows the conditions both nationally and internationally, in order to come to wise decisions.
Regardless whether Dr. Tony Tan wins the presidency, his place in the annals of Singapore is assured. Should he become president, it would simply be yet another chapter in his long, illustrious history of public service.